Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, February 21, 2023. The global tourism sector has adopted 3 key recommendations to strengthen and enable future sustainability. They were adopted in the Kingston Declaration for Tourism Resilience and the Future of Tourism. This took place at the Global Tourism Resilience Conference in Kingston last week. The recommendations took into consideration the impact of COVID-19, which serves as a harsh reminder of the indispensable necessity to build resilience. The recommendations include reigniting global South relations using tourism as the driver and beginning with Africa and the Caribbean. There is also the establishment of a Global Tourism Resilience Fund to support tourism-dependent nations in periods of disruption. And the final recommendation urges labor markets to reignite recovery that does not leave tourism workers behind. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett announced the declaration on the closing day of the conference last Friday.
We call on all stakeholders in the tourism industry, including governments, the private sector, academia, civil society, and international organizations, to support the implementation of these recommendations and work together to build tourism resilience and promote the sustainability of international travel and tourism.
Meanwhile, in a chat with CBS News' Peter Greenberg, Minister Bartlett said the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center would be developing a barometer to measure the level of resilience in countries, organizations, and companies.
This is very important because that's going to give valuable information for huge management decision-making, also for investment decisions.
Government has provided $868.4 million to start coastal protection works in Annotto Bay, St. Mary. The provision has been made under the Jamaica Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project. The aim is to enhance the country's resilience to disasters and climate risk. The money has been allocated in the 2023-24 estimates of expenditure. For the upcoming fiscal year, the project will continue work on and around the Big Pond Myton Gully Drain. The Hart NSTA Trust, Management Institute for National Development, MIND, and the University of Technology are among institutions that will facilitate training on the new building codes. In addition, the project seeks to complete a 3-year research fellowship on seismology and complete the National Risk Information Platform, microzonation study, and coastal assessments. The project is being implemented by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund with financing from the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development and the Government of Jamaica. Achievements so far include the construction of 3 major fire stations in Montego Bay, Port Maria, and Yallis. The Port Royal Street coastal protection work has also been completed, in addition to the Ecosystems Assessment Report, drafts of the revised Jamaica Fire Code, and the Jamaica Building Code. Infrastructure works and outfitting the seismic unit at the University of the West Indies have also been completed. The Rural Economic Development Initiative, READY2, has been given an additional $631.7 million to fund activities during the upcoming fiscal year. The project aims to enhance access to markets and climate-resilient approaches for targeted beneficiaries in the tourism and agricultural sectors. The provision is contained in the 2023-24 estimates of expenditure. Among activities to be undertaken is the rehabilitation of a cold storage facility in St. Mary and a honey bottling facility for bee farmers in Hanover. Irrigation infrastructure sub-projects are also scheduled for completion at Plantain Garden River and Ebony Park. In addition, a PV solar system will be installed at the Plumwood Pumping Station, while capacity building, seedlings, and chemicals will be provided to agriculture and community tourism enterprises. The project is being implemented by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, with funding from the World Bank and Government of Jamaica. The Ministry of Education has obtained Microsoft 365 licenses that will now be available to more than 500,000 students and teachers in public educational institutions. The licenses were procured at a discounted cost of approximately $52 million per year for maintenance. It's being done in partnership with Innova Solutions, a leading Caribbean provider of IT solutions, and Microsoft. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams says access to the software is part of continuous efforts by the ministry to close the digital divide. By using the moeschools.edu.jm platform, instructors and students can access the application and download it on their PC or Mac, as well as their iPhone, iPad, Android tablets, and smartphones.
We're happy to note that 438 emails have already been sent to students and educators at their moeschools.edu.jm email accounts. We're here to encourage those of you who have received the emails to please log on, open, and follow the steps.
Minister Williams was speaking at a recent meeting with secondary school administrators at Excelsior High School. She says this is a step towards applying practical technology in the education policy.
You do not have to bootleg anything anymore. You'll have a proper version of Excel, Word, Teams, and all of that at your disposal that you can use, and you don't have to worry about the cost of all of this.
And finally, members of the public are being urged to practice water conservation in light of limited supply of the commodity. Information from the National Water Commission, NWC, indicates that continued drought conditions have impacted inflows to several surface water sources. The current water level at the Hermitage Dam is 63.5% and the Mona Reservoir is at 76%. Minister with responsibility for water, Senator Matthew Samuda, has attributed worsening drought conditions to climate change.
So I ask citizens to be very cognizant of how we use the water that we do have. We're asking for conservation and we're asking for understanding.
The minister was addressing the recent commissioning of a 50,000-gallon storage tank in Yorktown, Clarendon. Senator Samuda informed that the months of November and December saw rainfall less than their 30-year average across all parishes.
Though the data for January is preliminary, the trend appears to have continued and in fact worsened. We had expected and hoped for greater rainfall earlier in the year. We have not received it.
The NWC has commenced 12-hour water restrictions across the Kingston and St. Andrew region as part of its conservation efforts. Persons may visit the NWC's social media platforms for details. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.